Hey guys, what's up? perrydew07 here, and welcome to my newest episode of This Week in perrydew07 Sports Realm. We got some NFL action for you, and also some F1. Yes, Demi. Yes, their season is still going on, but it's almost over. As a matter of fact, F1's next weekend, Abu Dhabi is going to be the last Grand Prix of the season. But before we get to that, we're going to review because they had a Qatar race, and for the seventh time, Max Verstappen takes home yet is now 12 points behind points leader Lando Norris, who by the way finished fourth after passing Antonelli on within like a few couple laps to go. Anyway, Piastri second, even though even though he gained points on Lando, but he dropped. However, Piastri is now third place in standings, 16 points behind Lando. Even though yes he won a sprint race himself on the previous day. Anyway, Carlos Sainz third place in the Williams. Oh, good for him actually. And of course, Lando fourth and Kimi Antonelli in fifth. Now, of course, on to the NFL, which here we go. Here we go. Of course, Thanksgiving, which of course, by the way, I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. So, anyways, on to the Thanksgiving Day games. We got the Packers beat the Lions, 31-24. We had the Cowboys beat the Chiefs, 31-28, and we had the Bengals surprisingly beating the Ravens, 32-14. And then a Black Friday game, we had the Bears beat the Eagles, 24-15. And then on to the Sunday games, we got the Panthers beat the Rams, and quite literally, it's the best game of the best game of the week, actually, in my opinion, 31-28. And we had the Buccaneers beat the Cardinals 20-17. We had the Jets. We had Jets beat the Falcons 27-24. And we had Dolphins beat the Saints 21-17. And we have Texans beat the Colts 20-16. We have Jaguars blowing out the Titans. I mean, yeah, largely 25-3. And then lastly for the 1 o'clock games, we had the 49ers beat the Browns 26-8. And then on to the 4 o'clock or later games, we had Seahawks beat the Vikings 26-0. And we have the Chargers beat the Raiders 31-14. We had the Bills beat the Steelers 26-7. And then the Sunday night game, we had the Broncos barely squeaking by the Commanders, although it took overtime to do it, 27-26. And then the Monday night game, we had the Patriots blowing out the Giants 33-15. And now on to week 14. And I believe this is the last bye week for the season. Panthers, Giants, Patriots, and 49ers, they're on their bye week this week. But of course, this is the last week of bye weeks for this season. So anyway, on to the week 14 matchups. Cowboys travel to Detroit to take on the Lions. This is a Thursday night game on Prime Video. And then of course the Sunday games, we have two teams that are tied for first place in the AFC North Division. Steelers travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. And then we have the Colts travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, which they're also, even though they're tied for first place in the AFC South Division, but the fact that the Colts lost, Jacksonville is now in first place in their division. We'll see. So anyway, we had the Saints travel to Tampa to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then we had the Dolphins travel to the Meadowlands to take on the Jets. And then we have the Commanders travel up to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. And then we have the Tennessee Titans to take on the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Then we have the Cincinnati Bengals travel up to Buffalo to take on the Bills. And then we have the Seahawks travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. And then we have the Broncos travel to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. And then we have the Rams travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. And then we have the Bears travel to Green Bay to take on their arch division rival Packers. And then in the Sunday night game, we have the Texans travel to Kansas City to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And then the Monday night game, we have the Eagles travel to LA to take on the Justin Herbert and the Chargers. And this is your Week 14 preview matchups for you. And that's it for this video here. So thank you all for watching. Oreos, peace, and God bless, and have a blessed rest. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Stay safe.